What is going on, YouTube people? Today, I decided to take some profits recently on Pokemon Sealed, and I might decide to take a little bit of more. And you know what? That's okay. We never know when the top of the market is, and it is okay to cash out every once in a while. I have been looking over what I have in Sealed for the past few weeks now and trying to decide what, and I'm still kind of working through this process, what I want to move off of and what I want to hold on to, and, how many different boxes of each set do I have, and do I have enough that I want to move off some and keep some? I don't think I want to completely sell positions of everything. I'll give you a real easy example. I have 2 boxes of Lost Origins and 4 boxes of Chilling Reign. My thought there is sell one of the Chilling Reign, keep one, sell 2 of the Lost Origins, and keep 2. I'm into them for next to nothing. I paid like $85 a pop for them. So I could take a little bit of profit out by selling half my position and more than cover completely free rolling the other 2 boxes into the wild blue yonder. I could just hang on to those things forever and they're basically free. And part of it is, nobody knows what's going to happen in the more medium term than short term. And I don't think anyone should overrate the power of liquidity in the current market. And in the normal times, not how it's been for the last 3 months, but when things, even if they just slow down a little bit or just get a little bit more back to normal, it could be a real nightmare to sell stuff. I say this all the time. Buying is easy. Easy. You see a deal, you click on it, you buy it. You hand someone some cash, you buy it. It's the simplest decision you'll probably make when it comes to this nonsense. It's the simplest transaction. It's all easy when you buy. When you go to sell, it is a pain in the ass sometimes. Okay, I got to list it on eBay, maybe. I got to deal with eBay fees. I got to deal with shipping it. I have to deal with, do they open it and accuse me of resealing packs and try to scam me through eBay? Does it get lost? Okay, I don't want to deal with any of that. I then have to maybe set up at a show and deal with all that time and expense. I have to go to a store and maybe sell for a certain percentage, way lower because it's a store and they don't want to give you a good deal. These are all the hassles that you have to deal with when you sell during the slow time. Maybe you're like, I'll go to a Facebook group, and then you get a billion DMs wasting your time and they want to pay 50%. It's a real pain in the butt. Right now, it is not a pain in the butt. Everybody is desperate for product. So the first moves that I made were looking at my inventory and saying, what are the biggest pains in the butt? What are the biggest nightmare products that I want no part in shipping, or if the market cools, will not be as popular with buyers? I had 2 such things that immediately jumped out in my inventory. One, not on screen, 151 Japanese booster boxes. These recently shot way up in price. That also helped make my decision a lot easier, though I sold a little bit before they went completely wacky, but I still turned a profit on them. I sold those about 3 or so weeks ago at a show. Easy transaction, cash, no questions asked, done, nice and simple. I believe in 151 long term. Japanese stuff scares me. If the market ever slows down, there's less of a buyer pool for it, and I just wanted to move off of it. The next one, and I think this is the important one, what you see on screen. At Christmas time, Walmart had these Legendary Warrior premium collections. I think it was on Black Friday, maybe. They were $40. I bought 12 of them. They are massive. they take up a boatload of space. You know it's bad when you order 12 and it ships with 2 separate tracking numbers. I knew I was in trouble right there. These things were absolutely huge. They have 14 various packs of Sword and Shield era product. Good sets. Lost Origins, Fusion Strikes in there, Brilliant Stars. I forget what else, but there's a pretty solid mix of packs in there. 14 packs. They are fantastic for a rip and shipper. They are fantastic for a brick and mortar storefront or someone that sets up at shows that needs inventory to sell. They're very popular. But from a sealed hoarder perspective, they suck to store. And 2, I could not imagine shipping these things. So this past weekend, I had reached out to one of my local card shops and said, hey, I know you're sometimes looking for Pokemon. Would you be interested in these? They said yes. We negotiated a price. I sold them just under $85, like $83, $84, I think it came out to be. I sold 12 of them for $1,000. So however that maths out. At the time I sold them, they were going for $95 was the market price. They've gone up. I mean, they go up and down a couple bucks here and there. So I basically sold them between 85, like 87, 85%, depending on the day that you're looking at prices. Even if you go off today's prices, I sold them at 85% cash. Didn't have to worry about shipping them. Didn't have to worry about a bunch of monkeying around. I just threw them in my car, drove 15 minutes to the shop, said, here you go. They handed me the money. We BS'd, and then I was out the door. Nice, simple, clean transaction. Don't overrate simple, nice, and clean transactions. Selling can be a huge pain. Never underrate smooth and easy deals. And because the market is still hot and everything is super liquid, I was able to move a product like this that in normal times would be more difficult to move. So it was a no-brainer. I more than doubled up on it, a little bit more than doubled up on it. Got cash in hand, no questions asked, nice and simple. Don't have to sweat shipping these things. Don't have to deal with all the nonsense. It was great. It was great. And that's the main takeaway that I want to imbue here. Can you, hold for a while longer and get maximum value out? Could these go to 150 in 6 months? And I'm like, damn, I could have held for 150. But maybe things slow down just a skosh. And to get the 150, let's be honest, you're not really getting 150 or 100, whatever the number is on the screen there. 98% of people aren't getting that number because you're selling online. There's going to be some fee involved, some shipping involved. Or if you're selling in person at a show, you still had to spend 8 hours to set up, haul all your stuff, pay for a table, all that nonsense. 85% cash deal. If you can get between 80 and 90% cash on sealed, it's chef's kiss beautiful. And all I would advise, I'm not saying sell everything because I'm not selling everything. I'm only selling a small portion. But while the market is still hot and while things are still liquid, just look around and say, if things slowed down, even if I could maybe get more for this in 6 months to a year, how many hoops am I going to have to jump through to try to sell it versus selling it today? And that's really the key, is the ease of transaction. Right now, in the current market, that still exists. And you don't have to try to time the market at the tippy top. It's okay to take profits. Like I said, maybe things continue to go up. Maybe if I would have held for 2 more years, they'd be $200 a box. They very well could be. But now I took some liquidity. I moved off some product that one was a bear to store. These things took up so much space. I didn't really want to hold these super long term anyway. And now I'm going to look at some other stuff. I'm going to really evaluate what I have in booster boxes. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to look very hard, not so much at Sword and Shield, but Scarlet and Violet. because Scarlet and Violet is still in print. If the market, let's take obviously the market's hot as hell right now, and it's going to continue to be with Destin's Rivals. But after that, let's say things cool down. The reprint window for a lot of these sets goes well into 2026, if not further. If Pokemon Company ever caught up and dumped a bunch of Scarlet and Violet era product onto the market while things were cooling off, I don't know that there would be enough people there to absorb it. Nothing stays hot forever. Everything is sunshine, rainbows, and kittens right now. That is not going to last forever. This is not normal. Nothing goes up forever. At some point in time, it's going to turn around. It is going to correct. I don't know if you'll ever be able to buy boosters for 90 a piece again, but I don't think they're going to be double MSRP on pre-order before the product even releases, or $100 above like Journey Together was at one point. At some point in time, things are going to slow back down again. Pokemon will always be popular, but right now it's jumped the shark. And we never know when the music is going to not necessarily stop, but slow down. So all I would advise is look around at what you got sitting there. And you can do the same thing with singles too. I'm mostly focused on sealed, but you can absolutely do the same thing with singles. And just ask yourself, do I want to max out the value on this, or do I value the ease of a transaction and maybe take a little bit less, take some certainty, some safety, cash in hand, never a bad thing. As always, curious for your thoughts and comments down below. Catch you boys and girls on the next one. Peace.